There we go. Hey everybody, how you doing out there in YouTube and Facebook land today? It's great to see you. We're having a fun week hanging out with you every afternoon, talking about some different blues things. Let's see. Here, let me get the chat rolling here. Let me see, where is the chat? There it is. There we go. Aaron's here. Hi, Aaron. Great to see you. How you doing? Awesome. Chris is here. Chris says, hey, Lee, was just in the Elevation Toolkit and spotted you here. Thanks. Hey, man. Good place to be. Awesome. Great to see you, Chris. Thanks so much. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to be talking about what are the big four scales for playing blues. Everybody knows the minor pentatonic, but, you know, what I just played right there, I was going through the big four scales on purpose. That was an A, and I just hung on the A for a little while. Let me turn the tube screamer off. I hung on the A for a while, and then I played a little bit of the E. So just two chords from the blues there. I didn't go to the D, but I started off on minor pentatonic, and then over the E I was switching. We talked about switching scales the other day. Over the E I switched to E major pentatonic. I was playing to the chord. You have different ways that you can approach blues. You can play to the key or you can play to the chord. I was playing to the chord this time. So every time the chord changed, my scale changed. Next time I went to the A, I went to the major pentatonic. And went to the minor pentatonic on the E. All of those different going back and forth between scales, they really add to the texture of these solos. And give you new ideas too. Once you hear the different sounds, everything starts going great. So then I did the opposite. So then I did the blues scales in there. So we had major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, and the other two in the big four blues scales are the blues, major blues and minor blues. You can use those all day long on a night of playing blues, all sorts of different songs, and you're good to go. The problem is most people know them in just one or two places, and they also don't use them across the chords, and they also don't change at different times throughout a 12-bar blues as well too. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, and as well we're all going through the blues elevation toolkit here. I have that. I got it right here. There it is. So we are in the toolkit just like Chris was before. Let me yep. There. Oh, James is here too. I got James' email today. He had a request about the toolkit as well too. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes. But we're going to be talking about what are the big four scales and how can we start to learn them in a way where we're not just going to the same place all the time. We can start spreading these ideas out across the pattern. Let's start with pattern across the fretboard. Let's start with pattern 1. As always, right? We were in an A today, so I'm looking for my A note on the low string. For some reason, when it comes to scales, people shy away from knowing where their root notes are. You're already doing it with rhythm guitar, right? So if I said, hey, play me an A bar chord, what are you going to do? Well, you're going to go to the 5th fret, right? Why? Because that's where the A is. Well, we also need to know those for our scales too. Well, I've got an A and an E somewhere right here on the low 2 strings, and I can base my scale patterns off of them. So I've got an A at the 5th fret on the E string. Where's my closest E to this? So I don't have to move my hand. Well, there, it's a 5th away. So there we are at the 7th fret. So if I was going to play let's see, A minor pentatonic, and then switch to an E major pentatonic, wow, to do that smoothly could really sound nice. I'm not moving a whole lot. I don't have that sound like most people have where that sound of sliding into the different patterns, that kind of jump around there. If I play them both, I can smoothly go in between. Hey, that's pretty cool. I can smoothly go in between. Yeah, there's a good one. There, I'm in A minor pentatonic going back. Once I hit this E, that'd be a good place to time that so this E comes in right when that E chord's playing. So knowing, well, what are the scale patterns right under your fingers at all the different places of the guitar, if you think about it, right? The A minor pentatonic scale, we have 5 patterns in this system. There's other systems. You've got the 3-note per string system, which is a 7 pattern system. You've got the who was that guy? Pepper Brown. He was awesome. I used to love that guy, a guitar teacher early on in YouTube, and he had like one for every fret, scale pattern for every fret. 12. Man, you got to be thinking all the time. I like the 5 ones. Why? Because they're around the chord shapes. Because I like to go back and forth between scales and chords. That's the cool thing to me. I like that. There we go. I like to have my chords and my scales very close together. So knowing where these scale patterns are is pretty important. And the goal is to be able to see them in the same place. Can you do that? I know, let's see, who do we have here? I think Aaron's here. I know Chris can do that. I know Aaron can do that. And I know James, I think we're working on that right now. Seeing the scale patterns and being able to move between them when you don't have to move your hand. You can really get a lot of mileage out of it. The truth is, everywhere your hand is on the neck of the guitar, you have every scale and every chord that you need. Think about that. Do you ever play that way? Do you ever say, oh, I'm at the 7th fret. What song am I playing? And what scales do I need? Can I play the whole song right here? Can I play the whole song at the 5th fret? Can I play the whole song at the 3rd fret? Can I play the whole song up at the 12th fret? This is a really, really liberating skill to have. Once you do that, you're not worried about where you... Oh, I remember for years, I didn't want to play myself into a corner on the guitar. I didn't want to, here's no man's land on the guitar between 7th and 12th fret. And here, this is where people get kind of tripped up a lot, right? I didn't want to be playing there. If I had to go high, I would go to the octave. So I know I'd be okay because I knew this pattern and not this pattern. So knowing your patterns in each of the places and then knowing the chord shapes, the easy cage chord shapes that go along with those patterns, it's really, really important. Not a fan of the caged system, but I am a fan of the caged information. There's nothing wrong with those scale patterns and those chord shapes. I use them all the time. The way it's normally taught, I have a big problem with that. So I'm going to learn what does that mean if I want to be a pretty free blues guitar player, lead guitar player. I'm going to have to know those big 4 scales in and out. And the rut that you get in is if you just know them in 1 or 2 places, then you kind of get stuck. You back yourself into a corner. Well, I'm going to keep playing this pattern and hopefully I get some new sounds out of it. And that sounds great, but it doesn't normally happen. People usually start to sound the same. Oh, everything I play sounds the same. I'm always playing in the same place. Change the key, I just change the scale and play it in the same place right there. Can you do that? Yes. Will that get you playing in songs? Yes, it will get you playing. Is that the best way to do it? No. Does it mean you should always do it that way if you can't? No. So what I like for you, all of the guitar players watching me, I would love for you to have freedom on the neck. Be able to, no matter where your hand is, have what you need. The tools are here. They're at every fret. Every chord and every scale that you need, they're right under your fingers. The more you know about the fretboard, the more you can stop worrying. I think that might be the biggest thing about it. If you stop worrying, oh, am I playing it right? Or am I doing it right? If you realize, well, it's just here. I gotta think for a second, figure out where it is. And then let's say here, I would be at the 3rd fret. Where's a D7 chord? Well, there's a D7 right there. Let's do a G. We got a D7, G7, and then a C7. There's my chords right there. Well, how about this? There's D mixolydian, C blues, and then there was a G dominant 7th arpeggio, all right there under my fingers. So if I'm playing a G blues, and then when you mess up, you can laugh about it, right? It's not the end of the world. I'm going to the 4 chord. I'm going to do the major pentatonic, major blues. Back to G. Now we'll do a D mixolydian. So I found those patterns of the big 4 scales. I used major pentatonic, I used minor pentatonic, and I used major blues here. Well, what if I played somewhere else? Let's see. Let's have somebody just pick a random fret. Who do we have here? What's this? Yo, Charlie Kerr. Oh, sorry. I just put up some. I just put up some mess here. Let's move that out. There you go. Okay. Let's see here. Jason's here. Hey, Jason. Great to see you. How you doing? Hope everything's going good. Evan's here. Wonderful to see you. Great. It's a great day to be here live on the interwebs, on the Facebook and the YouTube there. So, why don't one of you pick a random fret for me? Just pick the number between, well, we were at 3, so let's go higher than that, between 5 and 12. And I'll go to that fret and I'll try to play the same thing that I just played here with those scale patterns. Let's see, I know he's thinking number between 5 and 12. What's the lucky number? What's the number for today? Evan came in with 8 first, so we're going to the 8th fret right here. So here's my 8th fret, and what key we're in? G. So I've got my G7 chord right here. That's a C7 shape. My next chord, the 4 chord in G, is a C7. That's an E7 shape at this fret, and then we have a D7. We are in the G shape area for D here. So I could do the D7 here like this. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. It sounds more Clapton-y. Sounds like Delbert McClinton. So let's pick. What did we do before? We did G major pentatonic first. There's my pattern 4. Then we have C. I think, what did we do for the C? I think we did an arpeggio. C dominant 7th arpeggio. And then D we did, it was C mixolydian. And then we did, for D, the major blues, I think it was. I can't remember. I'll look back. But here they all are, right here. If I want to do just the big 4 scales, let's do G. G minor pentatonic, and then we can do G major pentatonic. G minor blues. And then G major blues. So I have all of those right here. I didn't pick the fret. Evan picked it for me. So it's all Evan's fault. So knowing, putting yourself to the test. Hey, I'm at the 8th fret. How can I play this song there? That's a really strong reason to know your scales inside and out. Know your arpeggio. So what is a cool way of doing that? And so we're coming live this whole week because releasing parts of Blues Elevation Toolkit as they get going. Yesterday we did the backing tracks, which I thought was a lot of fun. Let's see. So we did all the backing tracks yesterday. There's some cool ones in there. I was playing. So I had an audio podcast in the middle of the night last night, and I did it on the backing tracks, and I got to playing some backing tracks last night. So it was a lot of fun. But what we're doing now is going to the vault here. We're going to go down to the vault and look for our big 4 scales. So I was in the key of G there, right? So here, let me close all these so it makes it easier. Actually, let's just go click on the vault here. Let's not use the accordion thing. So here we go. Here we have the whole category for the vault. We have scales, chord charts, arpeggios, backing tracks, which we did yesterday, and then practice bundles, which is coming up soon this week. And let's go to scales here. Click on scales. And I've got all my major scales, all my major pentatonic, all my minor pentatonic, major blues, minor blues, and then natural, and the other ones that you would use in a blues song. Natural minor, especially in a minor blues, mostly. Dorian, you'll use in both. Dominant 7 blues or minor blues, and then Mixolydian for the dominant sounds. We're going to do, let's see, the first one we did was major pentatonic. So I'm going to go over to major pentatonic, and here we are in A. A is the first one that pops up. So here's my scale patterns right there. And we were at the 3rd fret. So there's around the 3rd fret, there's pattern 1. That's the one that I was using. So let's do these all at the 3rd fret here. So here's my A. So now I want to go back here. I want to get, when I went to my, oh no, I'm sorry, it was G. It was G. Let me go back to the major pentatonic for G at the 3rd fret. It would be pattern 2. So I think we're all the way down here, right? So we have the G pattern 2 right there. So we're there's my G major pentatonic. The next one we're going to, it was C. Let's do C minor pentatonic here. That'll be fun. So we'll switch when the C chord comes in. This is going so we're going to go down to C, and I think I'm going to be adding just little clickable A, B, C, D, all the keys at the top, so that we go straight to, you don't have to do this. That's an easy thing to do. So here's my C major pentatonic at the 3rd fret. Look, we have pattern 4. And then in my D, I'm going to do D major blues. That's the one I'm going to pick. So I'm going to go over here to my major blues, all 12 keys, and I'm going to scroll down to D. And at the 3rd fret, we're, let's see here. Now, what we'll do is go over back in here, grab a backing track. Let's do let's go to the vault. We'll go to the backing tracks. Let's do a slow blues. And I'm going to go to we're in the key of G, hit that. So I've got all my scales. Now you could leave them open in tabs if you want. I'm just going to play them. So my C with the minor pentatonic. Back to my G major pentatonic. D major blues, C minor pentatonic, and then G pentatonic. So there you go. Quick backing track, quick scale patterns, and I just saw a comment pop up there. James says, backing tracks are awesome. Been playing them instead of working today. Well, let me tell you something. That's me too. Actually, I had a band meeting today. Hi, band guys. I know you're watching. Good to see you, Nick and John. We had a great band lunch today. That was fun. Working out new songs that we're going to play. But yeah, and James also said he sent me in an email asking if the scale patterns, which I do have in intervals, because I think that's the best place to end up, knowing the intervals, at, which one's the minor third, the major third. He wanted to know the notes. Can you do them with the notes? So I'm going to do that. I'm not going to do it right away. That's a big undertaking to change all of them. It won't be too long. It's a few hours, but I'll probably do that this weekend. So you'll have the choice of having your scale patterns all with intervals or all with notes, the notes, actual notes that they're playing. So there's our big 4 scales. That's the reason why we might want to play them and changing them over chords. We talked about changing scales the other day. So all of these things is what Blues Elevation Toolkit is trying to get you to be able to do without thinking. Being able to have the scale pattern you need at a certain fret. Be able to change them smoothly as the chord progression goes along. We get into in Solos That Make Sense, which is going to be the follow-up course to this. A lot of you have it. I'm going to be adding a whole lot of stuff and changing it up. And then after that, I'm going to make a dedicated blues one for this as well too. That's what we get into chord tone targeting a little bit more, where you really open up the fretboard knowing the notes. And so those scale patterns that James requested will be wonderful for that. Okay, so I had fun hanging out with you today, doing a little playing. Thank you, James, for hanging out. Sorry I've been, the backing tracks have been taken away from work. Thanks, Evan. Thanks, Jason. Let's see here. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Aaron. Oh, James said hola earlier. That's great. Great. And thanks to the creepy person that I accidentally put their comment up. That was fun, too. Anyway, you all have a great rest of your day. If you're an Academy member, which a lot of you are that I'm seeing here, at the top of the hour, we're going to have our Q&A. So I'll be right back here hanging out with you then. And if you would like to help me with this Blues Elevation Toolkit over the week as I'm adding the new sections in, practice, the practice for the main videos is coming up next, and then we'll do the practice sessions. When those go live, you can let me know what you think. We can tailor this thing to be something that you go to every time that you practice, like James is doing today. It's only $20. It's just, I'm trying to over deliver with this $20. I want it to be something that people really, really enjoy using and easy to use. So I'm going to be refining it using your feedback, and in the description of this video. And I haven't released it on the website. I haven't sent it out to my email list of people. I'm just for the people that are watching here that are helping me along with this thing till it gets ready, and it'll be ready in a few days. So if you want to get in early, there it is right there. And thank you all for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Bye-bye, everybody. I can't see the end button. Where's the end button? There it is. The camera's in the way.